Sport, the Women's Euros.
Beth Mead drives it, edge of the box, Lucy Brock, into the net!
Hear live commentary of all the big games throughout the tournament with 5 Live and 5 Sports Extra.
Through on the edge of the penalty area, loops it over the goalkeeper! Oh, it's brilliant! It is absolutely fabulous!
The Women's Euros. Listen on 5 Live or BBC Sounds via your smart speaker.
So, Northern Ireland's historic debut at a major tournament ended in a 4-1 defeat by a pretty ruthless Norway side in their Euro 2022 opener at St Mary's. Thousands of fans made the trip to Southampton from Northern Ireland. Let's talk to a couple of them now. Colin Hopkins and Jana McCabe were at the game. They also present their own Northern Ireland women's football show. Morning, both.
Good morning.
Morning.
So, Colin, I don't want to start by talking about the defeat. I want to start by talking more about the occasion and what a major stepping stone this was for the nation's women's team.
Very much so. Going back a few years, women's football in Northern Ireland really had very, very, very little support. I mean, when I first started sort of looking at women's football, if you got 20 or 30 people going to an international game, you'd have been very fortunate. But as you already mentioned, there was literally thousands travelled over to Northern Ireland last night to witness the game, and the atmosphere was absolutely fantastic. From the very opening whistle to the very final whistle, they sang and they cheered and they really got behind their girls. So the whole occasion has just been taken up so well in Northern Ireland. The whole nation is right behind them at this moment in time. So the result, regardless, the very, very positive performance all around from the girls.
And Jana, Norway are expected to go pretty far in this tournament. But how did the Northern Irish team do throughout the match? Because the second half looked pretty positive.
Yeah, as you said, Rick, we played well. Definitely the second half, I think they came out a different team. We had some really great players. Like Abby McGee was very present. She had multiple goal line clearances, and then the keeper Burns pulled off a couple of great saves. But see, once that goal went in, when Nelson got the goal, there was just a bit of a glimmer of hope. The girls were pushing forward. You could see that drive, and you thought, maybe this could happen. But then obviously the free kick 5 minutes later. But they really held their ground, and we've only became full-time 6 months ago, and all these Norwegian players are full-time and obviously have some great careers. So I'm very proud of our girls. I think they really did hold their ground.
And really, magical moment for Julie Nelson. 37, played for a country for more than 18 years. Getting that goal, just fantastic, Colin.
Yeah, very much a fairy tale story. As you say, made her debut back in 2004. Back then, as I say, very little interest in the game, and she has been there right the way through. So for her to get the actual first goal in a competitive tournament, sort of at finals level, was absolutely unbelievable. And to be honest, if you had a choice of all the Northern Ireland players who you wanted to score that first goal, it probably would be Julie Nelson, to be honest, because she's been right the way through and she's seen everything. So absolutely fantastic moment. The celebrations that followed were just something else, to be honest, on the night.
One big blow, though, Jana. Simone McGill, always been one of Northern Ireland's key players, forced off with an injury and she looked gutted. Do we know anything more about the injury and who you're expecting to come in?
There's been no updates so far on who's going to come in, but it wasn't a lovely sight. It was tough to see. McGill is such a threat, there's no stopping her, and obviously her career over here, she's doing well. She's just moved to Aston Villa. As a Villa fan, I'm very happy about this. So hopefully it's not a long-term injury, but speaking after the game, Kenny seemed to say that it's bad, so it doesn't look so promising for the game on Monday or for England.
Yeah, and how are you both feeling about the remaining group games? So you got Austria on Monday, then England next Friday. Get anything out of those games, Colin?
I think it's possible, but very, very difficult, to be honest. I mean, I watched the Austria-England game the other night. Austria, we have obviously played them twice in recent times, and we've done very, very well against them. We've pushed them all the way. But I watched them sort of against England. I thought they looked a lot more organised than maybe they did in the few games that we have actually played against them previously. So it's going to be another tough match. And as you really mentioned there, if you're losing the likes of the players of the calibre of Simone McGill, it becomes even harder. But it's now became a game. If we are going to progress, we do need to get something from that game. So it might be a slightly different attitude from the Northern Ireland girls. They know they have to go out and probably get the 3 points. The draw is probably no good at this stage in time. So I think it'll make for a very interesting game on the night. But yes, optimistic we can do something. In terms of England, well, to be honest, that's going to be a mountain. I suspect it'll be for 2 too high for us. I mean, you're going to have a full capacity crowd at St Mary's on the night. They're going to be cheering and roaring, 99% of them for England. But having said that, the Green White Army will certainly make their presence known, but that's going to be a very, very difficult job for the players to get out from the England game, I suspect.
Good to speak to you both this morning. Thanks very much. Colin Hopkins and Jana McCabe, who present their own Northern Ireland women's football show.